Kweku, where you dey go so?
Chale, I am going to Ghana for Festival 2025.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Ghana. Africa show.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Festival.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Ghana.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Festival.
Oh, Mama Africa, Ojele, Ojele, FESTAC Africa, Ojele. Oh, 2025, Ojele, FESTAC Africa, Ojele, Ojele, Mama.
From the 21st to the 27th of September 2025, the world will gather under one sky celebrating what unites us. Our culture, our heritage, our pride. Welcome to FESTAC Africa Festival 2025, a 7-day explosion of colors, rhythm, fashion, food and unity right at the Independence Square. Featuring daily cultural performances, movie screenings, 6 days of exhibition, 3 days of transformational conferences, Ghana versus Nigerian Jollof Rice Showdown, Kids Fun Fair, Wellness, Sports and Tree Planting, Teaching and Innovation, and a Pan-African Trade Market where every country is invited. FESTAC Africa Festival is not just an event. It's a festival of impacting inclusion and changing lives. Powered by Ghana Tourism Authority. This is your moment to stand tall, collect globally, and showcase the spirit of Africa. Register today at www.festacafrica.org. Africa is ready. Ghana is ready. Accra is ready. Chale, are you ready? If you don't get it, forget about it.
FESTAC Africa, oh, 2025, FESTAC Africa, Ojele, Mama.
Dayu, depending on where you are, I greet you. Nusiemi betwabu mbote bana bayisolele. Molweni abantwana abangoni. Mpo salama watoto wa Mungu. Dumelang. Yes, it's that time we sit and have conversations that matter because this is Africa and Africa is our business. And today we have none other than the one, the only Empress AJE, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. And we tell her, Aboru, Aboye, Abosise.
Ogboto, my brother.
Greetings, greetings, and divine salutations to you.
I greet you also with the same spirit and positivity of the universe. You know, may our ancestors continue to bless your efforts and to bless what you are doing so that it enrich and empower others. That is so needed, not just in the motherland, but in the African diaspora.
And let's get right into it.
Certainly.
Take us some years back. Take us some years back. There's a young girl by the name Alison. She's sitting under a tree.
Yes.
How did that heritage, that Trinidad
Yes.
and Tobago heritage, shape your early life and the artistic calling?
You said you did your research. So from the time you addressed me as Alison, I know you went and do some research because, you know, that is the name, of course, that my mother gave me. And until I would have done my own research and my own empowerment to know that that was the name of the colonizer. But I am grateful still. As a young child, I was always attracted to that which is African, excuse me, anything of Africanness always attracted me. You know, even today, my mother would tell people she was always like that from a child. She was always like that, gravitating towards African clothes. But being in the diaspora, we know the whole history of the transatlantic slave trade, and we know the stigmatization that still remains today in the diaspora when persons would try to align themselves with anything African, especially African spirituality. So in growing up, I still was not as forward as I am now because, as I said, it was not totally welcome. You still felt out of place. You still felt people would say, well, you're not born in Africa, so why are you even worrying? You know? But there was always this desire in me to find out more. You know, there was always this desire. What is my identity? I can't seem to latch myself onto something. Why are you telling me because I'm not born in Africa, I should not try to find out my lineage? So, you know, my whole life basically was always searching. I always had that inquisitive spirit until, you know, we fast forward to my adult life, that destiny's path would have found me. And through the many trials and tribulations, searching for destiny, those challenges is what heaped upon me experiences and much needed knowledge to get me to this point where I understand I wasn't born in Africa, but I understand I am a product of Africa through my ancestors.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for taking us back, because now we have grown and Alison has become a woman. And this woman realizes that her great, great, great grandmother was Nigerian. This is a
Yes.
pivotal moment in your life. How did this ancestral revelation, Empress, realign the sense of self?
Well, I must also say, you know, the mostly we are brought up in a Christian belief system in the diaspora, and you know, basically the West. And as I said before, there was always the desire to know more. There were questions I was asking my elders at the time that they couldn't answer. And I started to search on my father's side. They have a little more history as to my lineage. That's not so much on my mother's side. So I started to speak with relatives who are still alive. I actually have a great aunt who is 98 years old and still alive. And she was able to give me a lot of information, and I follow through with that. But I think the real awakening came when I really hit a bump in the road in my adult life, where I was going through some really tough times, really, really tough times. And a friend introduced me to a spiritual elder who is Nigerian. And she said, listen, it's not magic, but he can guide you and give you some answers for you to get back your life on track. And I later found out that was the Yoruba way of life. And my third great grandmother was also Yoruba. The information I got from my paternal relatives, she was also Yoruba. So when I found the Nigerian spiritual elder who practiced the Yoruba way of life, known today as Ifa, that is what basically got me back on track to get my life back together again, and to even, I tell people the way I feel, there's still no words as to the proudness and the empowerment I gain through the guidance of Ifa.
Thank you for that one. Now, you brought up Ifa. As much as you're willing to tell us about your initiation, and tell us about coming here AJE Nombi. I hope I got that right. Your mic, Empress.
Yes, sorry, you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
I was saying I didn't hear the last part of the question. Can you repeat?
Okay. Tell us about your IFA initiation and about becoming Iya, and I hope I do not butcher this. Iya AJE Tunombi.
Tumobi, yes, AJE Tumobi, right. So the initiation is a rite of passage. And as we would know in all religion, there are initiations, just called by different names. And IFA initiation, what we Itelo do, full IFA initiation is a rite of passage that brings one to knowing who they are and their destiny, their purpose in life. It is, however, as if one was going to start all over. You now have to reinitiate yourself in this marketplace. So you have to relearn. It's not an easy journey. A lot of people are getting into it and thinking it's magic. And they would wake up the next morning and all their problems will go away. And no, it doesn't work like that. It is, you have to reinitiate yourself. You have to constantly take new information and apply it for growth and development. You have to be willing to make changes in your life. Very important. You have to be willing to make changes in your life in order to realize your true potential. So Iya AJE Tumobi is the name I was given. Iya means mother in Yoruba. Iya means mother. And AJE Tumobi was the name given to me on initiation, which means wealth has given birth to me. AJE is the Imale of wealth, which is represented by cowrie shells. AJE is said to be the daughter of Oloku. Oloku is that energy that dwells in the deepest part of the ocean. Oloku is the one that knows the secret of our ancestors, those who didn't make it through the middle passage. Oloku is the keeper of wealth, of secrets, of consciousness. AJE is said to be the child of Oloku. AJE Tumobi is wealth has given birth to me. I am also Iya Agon, IYA, AGAN, or AGUN, based on where you are and the pronunciation. Iya Ago means mother of ancestors. I was initiated into the society of Igungun, and the Igungun society represents our ancestors, our spiritual ancestors, that legion of spiritual essence of our ancestors, those who stay in the spiritual realm and govern over our everyday, day-to-day life. You know, Igunguns are those representatives of ancestral spirits. So I am an Iya Ago. That is my title. I don't know if I would have capsuled it beautiful.
No, you captured it. You captured it. And if you miss something, you know, I know where to plot, because, as I always say on this show, we are the tree with the fruit, so we must throw stones, because we must partake of the wisdom that has acquired. Now, talking of wisdom, the warrior is playing Calypso. Now she has conquered her battles within. Why change from warrior to empress?
Right. Now, I haven't changed my character. I will always be a warrior. I am a born fighter. However, words have meanings and words carry power. And
energy, as you have so put it well in the past.
Correct. So sometimes we need not announce to the universe our intentions, because it would bring, you're going to bring that type of energy to you. So warrior connotates confrontation, battle. And it, believe it or not, my life was filled a lot with that type of thing. as I said, who I am and my character. I don't need to put a title to confirm who I am. So I changed to Empress AJE because I wanted to embody the essence of wealth. I wanted to send that out in the universe. I wanted to vibrate that essence of wealth, AJE, which is part of my name. So I got the inspiration. Why don't you switch to Empress AJE? You see, the more we pronounce something, the more we vibrate on something, is the more we bring that energy to us. So that was the whole reason why I switch out the warrior to bringing AJE, the energy of wealth. And believe you me, it has transformed my whole existence. There are many evidence of me seeing the transition and a different the complexion of the way I do things has drastically changed. But I am a warrior. I would never change that.
Indeed. And I have had the privilege of watching you perform, electrifying performance, a performance that is done the African way with acknowledgement of the ancestors. But now you must tell me the secret. Your music blends calypso. You have Chantuelle. I hope I got that right. And you also have the Orisha chants.
Yes.
How do you weave your spirituality and your into this process? Because these are different things, Ifa is it's Nigerian. When you talk of calypso it's a blend. Empress?
Well, the truth is, there is no separation, Separation was given to us to keep us apart. But even though Ifa, and I want to disagree with you somewhat by saying Ifa is Nigeria. Nigeria went through colonization. And I'm not even so sure it was called Nigeria before colonization. Ifa is an ancient spiritual way of our ancestors. So Ifa is, the world can access Ifa. It's not exclusively for Nigeria. However, when our foreparents left different parts of Africa, and for this interview, I would say Nigeria. When our foreparents left Nigeria and they came to Trinidad and Tobago and other parts of the Caribbean, you remember all of what they came with was not kept. They had to synchronize and they had to hide and they had to camouflage a lot of their worship to save their own lives because Christianity was forced upon them. So they had to camouflage their own way of worship using Christianity. And because of that synchronization, give birth to what we do in Trinidad, the Orisha worship, and other forms of African spirituality. But the rudiments of it, the core of it, remains Ifa. What Ifa has done and continues to do is show us the source of our worship in the Caribbean, where it came from, what we do, why we do the things we do, and we had no clue. We were just following what we saw those before us done, but we never really knew why. Ifa came to bring clarity to that and to connect the dots. So, as you would know, Calypso was born out of West Africa, the African rhythms. And that is how we invented Calypso in this part of the world, in Trinidad and Tobago, that is now enjoyed throughout the world. Calypso, Chantuelle, is just another name for Calypso rhythm, Chantuelle. So sometimes, instead of referring to somebody as a Calypsonian, they would call them a Chantuelle, which is somebody who do the call and response type of singing. That's a Chantuelle. So a Calypsonian and a Chantuelle is more or less the same person, but the Chantuelle is the name that was used back then. And I like that name because it's very close to my ancestors. So what I did, the Orisha songs that we use in Trinidad and Tobago, where we pay homage to the different Orishas and Himalayas, that is fused with the Calypso style of singing and the African rhythms. So as we say, it's like a kalaloo. You may not know what is kalaloo in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pot where you put a lot of different vegetables and stuff. But it's like, let me see, it's like pilau of Kenya, where you have the rice and the meat and all the different stuff. So it's like that type where you put in all the different ingredients, but it gives one taste. It brings one taste.
I might not know what Kalalu is, but I do know how to say, what's the sin? And when we talk of what's the sin, the divine feminine, we have seen to give tribute to Ella Andal, Andre Tanka. The divine feminine is rising, cannot be suppressed anymore.
No.
Tell us about it.
You know, Ella Andal, who is one of our most celebrated female vocalists in Trinidad and Tobago, she is one of the she's also a Ifa Orisha devotee, and she would have reached Africa as well. She performed in Ghana. I know that for a fact. She was the one who recognized my artistic ability because I used to do background vocals for her. I started off doing background vocals, and she was the one who said, "Listen, you have a very powerful voice, and I think you should get into doing calypso." Because, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the easy platforms to be heard is to sing calypso, get into what we call the calypso tents, the forum that happens where calypsos are sung and heard, and you know, it's one of the easiest platforms to start your artistic career. And she encouraged me to do that. So when I got started, when I took her advice and I got started, I decided to do a tribute show to her because she, for quite some time now, she's no longer on the stage singing, you know, her music lives on, but she's no longer actively on the stage. And I pay tribute to Andre Tanka because his music is a fusion. He is what you call one of the crossover artists, born in Trinidad and Tobago, but his style of music is a fusion of all, you know, calypso, soca, world style music, and it really resonated with me, his type of music. The Divine Feminine, now when after singing in the Calypso tent, I sang in a Calypso tent for 4.5 years. It's called the Calypso Review, which was founded by the Lord Kitchener, you know, who was known throughout the world. As a matter of fact, there is a song he composed and sung on Ghana's independence when he visited Ghana. The Lord Kitchener visited Ghana as well. And I sang in that esteemed Calypso tent for 4.5 years and decided in 2019 to step out and do my own creative, do my own cultural events. And again, as a woman who is deeply grounded spiritually, I do not operate by happenstance. I do not operate as if I have no direction. I'm spiritually guided. And the ancestors told me, do your event in honor of the divine feminine energy. That was the inspiration. That was the divine instruction. And I started that show in 2019 called IBA, IBA. The I is pronounced as E in Yoruba, right? I is pronounced as E, IBA, which means it's a Yoruba word, very powerful, which means to give the highest praise. Iba is that prefix you put before giving praise. If you are calling on Ogun, you say Iba Ogun, Iba Oshu, Iba is a very powerful word. So I decided the show is going to be called Iba Music Festival.
And powerful the Empress is because she preempted my next question. We were going to talk about the Iba Music Festival because we see a lot of today's generation. They are into what they call the spiritual awakening. They're coming into being. So what role does this festival play, not just for young Trinidad and Tobagans, but for the youth, for the young girl seated in South Africa? And thank you for correcting, because I believe in a borderless Africa. If you hear me use these borders, it's just for context. So we have a young girl in South Africa. We have a young girl in Ethiopia. The Iba Festival. And
the Iba Festival. The Iba Festival, apart from, well, its primary objective is celebrating the divine feminine energy through music. It uses different genre of music, different artists. So it's not one type of music. There are also different performances, not just vocal. The show is a range of performances. We have like dances, we have drumming, So I try to give, not I try, the show is a well-rounded product. You have, for me, I get bored if I go to an event and it's just one vocalist after the next. I like variation. And we have to think about young people now when we are putting out an event. We are living in the year 2025, and a lot of things we as the mature people have to be prepared to switch things a bit. And you brought that when we spoke about offline, when you mentioned the concentration span of people, and no one really wants to sit and watch a 2-hour long YouTube post anymore. That's before we had social media. When people just have probably the television in their home, they would sit and watch, But now you can't get anybody to sit and watch a long vlog or blog. It's the same with music. Whilst the quality must not be compromised, we have to look at tailoring what we present to make it more attractive and appealing. I, in structuring Iba, I think about the young people as well. So I would put an Afrobeat artist, soca, reggae, different genres, and then inside of that I would have performance by a cultural group, whether it's dancing, whether it's drumming. You will have fire breathers, and it's a festival of the arts.
True, indeed. Now we are an honorable people, and in times when honor is lost, we had requested the Empress for 30 minutes because she has to catch a flight. So we want to keep and stick to that honor. So Empress, channel 1838, and Leaders in One Chant, as you call them to come see you perform at FESTAC 2025. There's so much we would have wanted to speak. I know she will definitely be at FESTAC. I'll try and get more of her wisdom. But now, as it is, the Empress has to catch a flight, and we have to keep true to our word. Empress?
And you would like, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you, Empress.
You was breaking up a bit. Just repeat a bit. Sorry to have you repeating, but just repeat exactly. Yes.
Yes, I'm requesting you to lead us in a chant that channels 1838 1838, which is a very significant year to you, 1838. You channel that as you invite them or you give them their rallying call to come see you perform at FESTAC 2025.
Okay, that's I wouldn't say putting me on a spot because I'm an artist and an artist must always be ready, but I would do a chant for my ancestors if that's okay. Hello?
Yes, by all means, I do not want to interrupt what is sacred.
Uolewa, majubao, uolewa, egungun uolewa, arabara, 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 egungun arabara, 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 egungun arabara, egu arabara, egu arabara, egu arabara, egu arabara, 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 egungun arabara. Harabara, majubao, majubao. Harabara, gungu harabara. Egu harabara, egu harabara. Egu harabara, egu harabara. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe.
And it goes without saying, you feel the energy. You feel the energy shift. Come to Accra, Ghana. Watch her perform at FESTAC. Register at www.festacafrica.org.
Yes.
All of Africa is coming. I have had the opportunity to watch her perform. It's transformative, it's energetic, and it is filled with spirituality. And that
I do look forward to Ghana. It's going to be my second visit to Ghana, and I pray that Ogun, I pray that Esho clears the path, that Baba Ogun clears the path, not just for me, who's going to be traveling across many seas and oceans, but for all the other participants and for the FESTAC team who is hard at work. A lot of times, participants don't stop to think about the people behind the scene and the work that they are doing to bring an event to life. Special prayers to the FESTAC team that all will be put in place, all will be well for all stakeholders to benefit. Ashe.
Ashe. And to lead us out.
Chale, I am going to Ghana for FESTAC Festival 2025.
Africans are ready. Welcome to Ghana.
Africa show.
Africans are ready. Welcome to FESTAC. Africans are ready. Welcome to Ghana. Africans are ready. Welcome to FESTAC. Oh, Mama Africa, FESTAC Africa. Oh, 2025. FESTAC Africa. From
the 21st to the 27th of September 2025, the world will gather under one sky celebrating what unites us. Our culture, our heritage, our pride. Welcome to FESTAC Africa Festival 2025, a 7-day explosion of colors, rhythm, fashion, food and unity right at the Independence Square. Featuring daily cultural performances, movie screenings, 6 days of exhibition, 3 days of transformational conferences, Ghana versus Nigerian Jollof Rice Showdown, Kids Fun Fair, Wellness, Sports and Tree Planting, Teaching and Innovation, and the Pan-African Trade Market where every country is invited. FESTAC Africa Festival is not just an event. It's a festival of impacting inclusion and changing lives. Powered by Ghana Tourism Authority. This is your moment to stand tall, collect globally, and showcase the spirit of Africa. Register today at www.festacafrica.org. Africa is ready. Ghana is ready. Accra is ready. Chale, are you ready? If you don't get it, forget about it.